What's up, guys? Charlie Marlow here. Got to jump on, talk a little Cardinals baseball, about last night's loss to the Padres, bad, about last week's play, good, but most importantly, the very low attendance at Cardinals games recently. Very, very bad. They say on YouTube, you should always think of your title of the video first before you do the video. So before I press record here, I was thinking of what is a good title? What's a catchy title? What's a proper title, by the way? What's a fair title? You don't want to do clickbait. And in my opinion, I'm titling this bad boy, Cardinals fans have rejected the organization. I was thinking to put Cardinals fans have rejected this team, but I don't know if that's fair, because have you all, and let me know, reply in the comments, have you guys rejected this team? When I think team, I think more players, right? I do think the players are playing hard for the most part. But I think with low attendance recently, it shows that you all Cardinal fans have rejected what this organization has been doing the last several years. And I think that's very fair. Okay. We'll get back to that in a second. That's the main premise of this video. But let's, because hey, I do have my notes here, right? I watched the games. I watched a little bit last night. I listened a little bit on the radio. So here we go. So Cardinals, obviously, you lose that game, 7-4. Mike Schilt in his return. We'll talk about him as well. But on the season, so the Cardinals, 65-66. A minus 59 run differential. That's not a good team, folks. Minus 59 run differential. I think it's fair to say, if you look back, this team had a really good 2.5 weeks back in May. For the rest of the season, they've been bad or very mediocre. I think that's fair to say. At the moment, they have a 2.2% chance of making the playoffs. And I feel like what you're seeing from Cardinal fans is they're supporting this team in that same way. They're supporting this team like they have a 2.2% chance of making the postseason, which is fair. By the way, I'm not knocking fans whatsoever. I totally get it. And if I'm the Cardinals organization, mainly the DeWitts, because look, John Mozeliak, he's either going to be gone this winter or he's going to be gone after next year. Maybe there's a succession plan set up to a Chaim Bloom, whatever it is. But I think it's fair to say long-term, John Mozeliak is not going to be with the Cardinals. But the DeWitts, the ownership group, the worst thing you can see from a fan base is apathy. And that's what I think we're seeing right now. It's one thing, I know there's passionate fans. You guys will reply in the comments passionately. I see passionate fans on X, on Twitter all the time, and I love you guys. But I think it's fair to say, for the most part, this fan base has become apathetic, a huge portion of them, from what they've seen the last couple years, and also the trend line for the last decade or so, or last 5 to 8 years, whatever it is. Just look at the attendance. You can look with your own eyes at the games. I saw Katie Wu tweeted last night she thought the ballpark was about a quarter full. So what would that be then? Would that be 11, 12, whatever that number is? I also saw that last week in one of those Brewers games that the operations, they always tell the staff how many actual fans to expect. So not the listed sold tickets. One of those games last week, the number of fans they actually expected was 17,000. Now, last week against Milwaukee, one of the totals for paid tickets was 28,630. That's the lowest we've ever seen in a non-COVID year. That's tickets sold. Last night was 28,697 tickets sold. There's this old joke for years that the Cardinals would never announce below 30,000 tickets sold, and it's gotten to the point where they have to now. It's so obvious. It's so obvious that nobody is showing up to these games. So right now, 10.5 games back of Milwaukee. Let's just forget about the division. Let's be real about that. 6 back in the wild card right now, but they'd have to jump 4 teams. There's a nice jumble of teams there too, depending on if you win or lose the night before. So whatever it is, 3, 4, 5 teams you're battling with. The Cardinals at this point, the 2.2% is what it is, folks. It is what it is. The Cardinals, they're not making the playoffs. Let's be real. A miracle could happen, but the schedule's also tough. You got Padres. Padres are very good. You already lost the opener. Then you got the Yankees. I haven't looked too far ahead. I think it's Milwaukee again. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know this stretch, obviously, in August was really, really tough. But look, it's not all negative. It feels like it right now. I didn't really do a video last week, but let's be fair about this. The Cardinals did play pretty good baseball last week. They win series against the Brewers. They win a series against the Minnesota Twins. So playing pretty good baseball. Last night, obviously, Kyle Gibson gets lit up. Again, the Padres are good. What do you guys think of Mike Schilt and his comments? I didn't listen and watch all of them, but I watched several clips. I think Corey Miller put one out there. Corey Miller from KSDK, Channel 5, and I was watching that. That's also an interesting thing to discuss. I was a big Schilty fan. I think Mike Schilt is a better manager than Oli Marmol. I don't think Oli Marmol is a terrible manager. I didn't necessarily think Oli Marmol should have got the contract extension in the offseason. We all know about the philosophical differences with management. We know that Mo runs the show, especially back then, even if Mo's not going to run it after 2025. And there are some reports of behind the scenes, some things going on with Schilty and treatment of some of the staff. And you can do your own research and all that. Again, I was a fan of Schilty. I think Schilty's a better manager than Oli Marmol. I don't think Oli's terrible. I think, to be fair, Oli also has not had much to work with whatsoever the last couple of years. That's more on management than Oli, for sure. I also don't think Oli and his coaching staff are necessarily a value add in terms of improving this organization, especially the offensive staff. What are they doing? Why did it take so long to get the whole team essentially out of a slump in April? I would think you're going to see, at minimum, complete turnover of the offensive staff. We'll see what happens in the offseason with Mo and Chaim Bloom or whatever happens there. I have no idea. We still have another month or so of the season before we can discuss that. So back to the attendance, though. You probably also saw the clip, I watched it on X, of the Padres broadcasters. Pretty shocked at how nobody was at the game. And so I wrote it down again. Look, hey, I do notes. Boom, look at that. So the words they used: different vibe and shocking. Padres broadcasters talking about how normally late August, early September, Cardinals are always in it. This place is rocking, Busch Stadium. Different vibe, shocking. And because of the pitch clock, you can't really do too many shots of the crowd during the game while their pitch is being thrown. But they did do a quick pan of the stadium, and there was nobody at the ballpark. Again, so listed attendance, 28,697. Folks, if you were at the game, how many people you think were really there? I think Katie Wu said about 25% full. So what do you think? What do you think's fair? Was it, and I don't know. Was it 11, 12, 13, 14? Was it like last week? Was it 17? Even 17,000 in the ballpark is really low. If it's more like 25%, I think then you're looking more at 11,000, 12,000, whatever it is. But this fan base is tired of this organization. It's like nothing I've seen. I've been here since 2008. I've never seen anything like this from an apathy standpoint. And remember, look, this team, guys, this team isn't bad. Now, you can argue with me on semantics. Last year's team was bad. Even right now, they're one game below 500. Now, they may end the year crappy. Hell, I don't know. They could end up 5-7 games below 500. I don't know. So at the end of the year, maybe you can say, yes, this is a bad baseball team. Right now, they're not bad. They're just basically mediocre. They're right there at the 500 mark. But there's nothing to be excited about. And I look at this from my own personal standpoint. Now, I'm not from St. Louis, where I grew up a Cardinals fan, but I obviously worked in TV and radio. Now, it's also different where you're covering the team for your job on a daily basis. I no longer really do that, but I do jump on YouTube. But most nights, I hate to say it, I don't feel a real strong pull to watch the games. I'm just being honest with you guys. And I go back to 2 years ago, even if I'm in the spot I am right now, which is not doing radio every day, I would have been absolutely into that team in 2022 when they made the moves at the deadline. They get Montgomery, they get Quintana, you got Albert Pujols. The place is packed. Albert's going for 700. It was super exciting. We all know the way that season ended against the Phillies and the game one where, look, Ollie did botch that game, 100%. But that season was fun and exciting. Last year was just horrible. The team was terrible. This year, they're meh, right in the middle, but the fans have completely rejected this team. They're sending a message to ownership. We are not happy with the way you're running this organization. We're not happy with the guys you've traded away. We're not happy with some of these contracts. Whoever you want to put out there, Steven Matz, Miles Michaelis, whatever it is, we're not happy with the way you're developing talent. We're not happy with some of your comments recently. I know a lot of people on X are kind of reposting the interview I posted of Martin Kilcoyne with Bill DeWitt the third several months ago when he kind of chuckled and said, I always hear this from fans that, we're not going to show up to send a message. And Bill DeWitt the third basically said, well, that's the opposite because we take that ticket revenue and put it back into the team. In a way, that is a bit of a threat, like saying, look, if you don't show up, we're not going to put as much resources into the team. I don't know, man. The Cardinals are in a really bad spot organizationally. Let's be real about that. And it could be worse, don't get me wrong. But do you think they're going to be good next year? Look at next year's payroll allocations and commitments already. Steven Matz under contract still. Miles Michaelis under contract still. How you feeling about those? Sonny Gray, you're fine with that. Eric Fetty for his price is a good deal. We'll see what happens with Goldie. Nolan Arenado is still a good player. I mean, I looked last night, his WAR was like 2.7, but he's not a player worthy of $35 million or whatever he's making. I think it's going to be damn hard for the Cardinals to be good next year. The problem with this team is top down. It's organizationally with how they draft, how they develop, who they keep, who they trade. That's what needs to change. I don't think you can change this in a year or so. I don't think the Cardinals can be that great next year. Now, they might be like this year. They might have a shot at a wild card. Almost everybody has a shot. But I think it's going to be really hard for the Cardinals to be good next year also with their payroll commitments. All right, wrapping up the video there. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Thanks to our great sponsors, Triad Bank, St. Louis Lawn Care, St. Louis Equipment, Corner Butcher in Fenton, Chop House. Those two spots have now been put together. So Corner Butcher and Chop House are now together in the same building there in beautiful Fenton. For your lawn care needs, St. Louis Lawn Care, they do the mulch, they do the treatment. St. Louis Equipment, my guy Tim Jankerson, if you want to buy a lawnmower, they'll fix your lawnmower, stlmowerrepair.com. I bought a small engine trimmer. I bought a trimmer that was Crest brand. It's battery operated. It's awesome. I got a blower, Husqvarna. That's the fuel, the 2-in-1 gas oil mix. That's great. St. Louis Equipment. And, of course, Triad Bank, the best place you can go for both commercial lending and also retail banking. Been banking with Triad Bank for about 5 years. Best thing I ever did for my rental property business, bringing all my loans from a big national bank that didn't care about me over to the great customer service at Triad Bank. I go to the Frontenac location. They also have a location in Creve Coeur, triadbanking.com. All right, what do you guys think? What do you think of my comments? I want to hear your grievances in the replies. I'm telling you, man, it's bad. It's bad. The play last week was pretty good. Last night it's one game. We'll see what happens rest of this series. But the headline is, the title of this video is Cardinals fans have rejected this organization. And this was the theme last week too, even when the Cardinals were playing good baseball and they took that series against the Brewers. The lack of fans was alarming in that series. And the day game last week, I remember, that's a game I'd like to go to, usually. I just I don't want to go downtown. I don't want to go to the game. I had a buddy who was trying to give away tickets. Nobody wanted them. It's a group text of 6-8 people. Nobody wanted the tickets. I'm watching the game at the gym, actually, last week versus the Brewers. And it was a beautiful day. It wasn't hot. It wasn't humid last week. It is now. But last week it wasn't. Day game, and there was nobody in the stands on a beautiful day in St. Louis. This is alarming, folks. This is where crap really hits the fan. When the fans stop caring, there's apathy, and the fans stop showing up. And that's what you're seeing right now from Cardinal Nation. I don't blame you guys whatsoever. I'm also apathetic towards this product. The Cardinals need wholesale changes this offseason, top to bottom organizationally. All right. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Love you all. Peace out.